Okay.
But let's get on subject. Let's talk about the
top 10 comic books bought by readers. To me, this is more important. Like you get like what is that, Comic-Con? That is what comic shops are buying. We are the comic shops are the customer of Marvel and DC. They buy the books. It really depends on what you're buying if they're successful or not. Well, not true. The comic shops, but if they're convinced, if they can convince a comic shop that they need to buy 1,000 copies of something, then it's successful. But whether or not those comic shops are left with 999 books or not, that's what it really is telling. And we have seen comic shops that get that big new thing, and then they have hundreds and hundreds of copies left over. As a matter of fact, I noticed at the warehouse sale I go to, there were just way too many Civil War II books. What do you got? I come in 27 minutes in, and now he starts the subject. It never changes. Damn straight. Actually, I wanted to start this a while back. But
10 minutes ago, because I interrupted, because somebody said that Suzanne Sommer died. So I'm going to blame that person.
Yeah, there you go. But hey, you know what? That's what a Monday is. Monday is we talk about whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. So, but we're going to go through the actual topic here because it's promised. Okay, so the number 10 book that customers are buying is The Sandman, Wesley Dodd's The Sandman by DC Comics, written by Robert Venditti and drawn by some guy who apparently has cerebral palsy. It is not okay. It's Riley Rosmo's art. Number 10. I was hoping this would be higher. I really was. I want Venditti to have all the hits, so they give him more writing.
I did not read it.
I
mean, I love Venditti, but I got a sour taste in my mouth from that book he's writing over at Dark Horse. He's co-writing.
Which book?
Savage 6.
Okay,
that book sucks.
This one was little. I'm going to do a full review tomorrow. I'm going to have my reviews out. So please check that out. A quick review. I am very glad that Riley Rosmo, while his art still is bad, looks like he put some effort into this. This isn't, I'm going to move over here, right? There we go. There we are. Okay. It actually looks like there's some effort on this. There we are. Yeah. Travesty. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. I know, right? It's got to be this way.
It's got the wrong way.
The thumbnail. Get the thumbnail. Do it. Okay. But yes, it's a good, well-written book. I like the fact that they kind of dig into the noir stuff. It's not ruined by Riley Rosmo's art. He puts in some effort and everything. I wish it was higher, though, especially considering what's coming next. Eric says sales have no bearing on who gets assignments at DC. It's one of the, yeah, that's true. That is true. The Sandman, really? That's pretty cool cover. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, at number 9, we have the Green Lantern. Yeah, which apparently Wes is playing the Flash. You can see right up his nostrils.
Well, actually, no. If you look at their video, they actually had it was Weird Science, and then was I think it was Weird Science and Wes on their thumbnail.
I haven't watched his best of the week.
They put their logos over the face.
Okay.
And they're like,
look, I've only read the first issue of Green Lantern. I hope it's
this.
Good. I haven't read it yet.
I'm going to say this is classic team up. It is. Jeremy Adams gets the character. This should be higher on the list. But sadly, people are sleeping on it because they've basically been brainwashed to read the other stuff, or they just left the company. They left the copy. It sucks, but
it is what it is. And DC gets its ass whipped by Marvel and has been since they freaking came out. The only time that DC was kicking Marvel's ass was Rebirth. I would do this video. I would do this video right here. And constantly, DC was kicking Marvel's ass.
You remember the 2007 Brave and the Bold series DC did?
Yeah, I've read a couple issues. Yeah,
I'd say it's on par with that, even a little better than some of those issues.
All right. Number 8, we got another DC, and that's Batman City of Madness. I have not read this yet. Have no idea.
Christian Ward.
Okay.
That's my question.
I have no idea who Christian Ward.
I just skipped it because I didn't know who Christian Ward is, and I'm like, Court of Owls. Everybody's doing Court of Owls. Every single book has Court of Owls, Ram V, all that stuff. I'm just done with it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm done with, and this has always been around, but Batman hadn't noticed. Wait, okay, Batman didn't notice. It's all of the crimes and all of the corruption and all of everything. Batman never got a hint or a whiff that there was some sort of big secret organization.
Yeah, and
yeah, no,
DC, I'd say Paul Dini handled this perfectly, introduced into the DC animated series. He added a plot tied in with Ra's al Ghul and the Court of Owls, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, I don't buy into it myself.
Well, I'm not a big Court of Owls fan myself, but the DC animated universe, I'll still say it, but whatever book comic it is better than current comic books in the past 20 years.
Okay, you're gonna have to talk about this next one because it's a character I just do not like. Finally, Marvel enters the top 10 at number 7 with Venom number 36.
I looked into this. This is a speculator buy. Most people were buying it because it's her wearing the symbiote for the first time. She's got her own symbiotes now. For those who had symbiotes, this is not the book for you. Also, the fact that it's titled Venom, you should have a clue. You shouldn't be buying this book. But it's not Eddie Brock's. That's what it is. It's Dylan, and now he's teaming up with Black Widow. It is, and who thought she was be teaming up with Eddie, but turned out it's his son, and now she's pissed. But I gotta say, the art is kind of cool, but this would have to be an Ultimate Universe. I'm not a fan of just you get a symbiote.
Yeah, like there was literally a miniseries. I joke about it all the time. There was a miniseries that
but I gotta say,
had symbiote guns.
I will say this: I'm not a fan of Dylan. But this is that Thorin Grunbeck, the one who's currently writing Red Sonja, who took over Thor from Johnny Cates. This issue wasn't bad. I thought it wasn't offensive. I thought it was actually pretty decent. If you do not like symbiotes, this is not a book for you.
Yeah, it's not.
So I'm just gonna say, the fact that it has Black Widow on here, she's being written better. She's not being written as a uber bitch, saying like, Frank Castle, you suck. What did you do to your wife? It's under that Jason Aaron bullshit. Yeah. And I can see that's why this book is higher on the list.
Okay. All righty. Hold on. Let's get the comments popped up. DC Comics is gaslighting almost 90% of its masculine audience. Now they do a sci-fi military book with Flash and Hal. Do they know what they've done for the last 12 years? Well, okay. One thing I was like this for quite a while. But we've mentioned it. Definitely, Eric has mentioned this. Is the fact that there's 2 factions going on in DC, and it seems like there's half of them that really want to do some good work, and then there's half of them that are the what do you call them? The Tinder writers, whatever they're called, Twitter writers.
I'm just saying.
4chan.
Eric, I know what you're saying, but it's Venom. If you're hitting symbiotes, why are you buying Venom? Thinking there's not going to be symbiotes in there.
And Court of Owls would have been better as a year 3 story. I agree. Once you use them,
I never read the original story, but apparently a lot of people love the Scott Snyder New 52 version, and that's it. And then they said that's been it, nothing else after that. But he said like it's Venom. Your symbiotes. You're also getting the fact that there's a lot of people who like Black Widow. There's a lot of fans.
Now the Black Widow I can buy into more.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on down. What we're on 10, 9, 8, 7. This is number 6, and we have X-Men Red. Really, the X-Men?
That's number 6. Now that's like I said. This is weird. For whatever reason, the current X-Men books I've been noticing in my shop.
16. Excuse me. Yeah, this is number 6. Yeah.
Yeah, they are getting love. No matter what X-Men book is, people are just buying them up because people actually love the story. Now, I don't know why, but they just do it. I've had people say they love it more than the John Byrne story, Claremont. Mm-hmm. That's hard to swallow if you're an older reader and fan of that stuff, but these are books being written for different people.
Yeah, it is something. I mean, the books that we count as the best are 50 years old. To put that in perspective
Well,
for
look
us
at
old
TV shows.
farts, when we were reading Claremont for the first time, 40 years ago would have been 1940. It's the golden age and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can see it.
I
It's
look at current
old.
comic books being like TV. TV
I
was
would.
better because growing up, like, TV was better back in the day.
I wonder how much like the that whole thing with the Hellfire Gala and all the murders and all the death and all that, how much that kind of pushed people. Okay, it's ending now. I want to see how it ends. Let's buy this.
Yeah, I mean, look at you. Look what you were raised on. Your television shows, your comic books, raised on. Of course, you're not going to like this. I was raised on the newer stuff, and so a lot of people were raised on newer than I was. They're raised on New 52 and up. So so I could see younger people are like, oh, this is cool. This is exciting. Remember when Complex came up? People were like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing in X-Men ever. Overlooking the Brood Saga, which people love. Looking over the Phoenix, we're just aging out at this point because people are being brought up on stuff. It's indoctrination.
Well, yeah, that's something I said. I said about 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's still true.
We're going to lose this because kids who are like, say, 12-year-olds in 2013 are soon going to be the 20-year-olds that were raised on this bad, crappy SJW comic book writing. But look, I just read a book called The Sinister Four. All right, next. That's about all the good I could say about that.
I just looked outside and stared at the rain for a while, and then I contemplated my life.
I'll tell you what, if you went out into the rain to stare at the rain by opening your eyes wide and just looking up, you would have had a better time than reading.
I did.
All right, this is number 5.
Zach's been reading this. He's been enjoying it. Apparently, they're writing them better. Now, this is Jed MacKay, guy who's been writing Moon Knight. Also, I think what else was he writing? But this is the book that's after Jason Aaron left.
Okay.
So it's started going up a notch.
And now it's on notch number 1. I am kind of in a shock that I am now a person who reads neither JLA or Avengers. The 3 big teams when I first started and even in the prime of my comic book reading years were the X-Men, the JLA, and the Avengers. Those definitely were the ones you had to follow. And I just don't ever get that feeling anymore. But you know what? I'm going to do a whole different video. I want to do a rant video about my general feeling about comics and comic writers and such like that.
There's also a lot of people are sick. There's more people are sick of seeing Deadpool. They're sick of seeing Harley Quinn. Same people are getting sick of seeing Captain Marvel, and I can see why some people are hesitant to read this, give it a chance, because in the past, look at all the crap they've been preached towards you.
Well, they didn't let us glom on to Captain Marvel.
No.
We already liked her as Ms. Marvel. They changed her to Captain Marvel and said she's the most important. And we're like, I remember I actually said to CB Cebulski, no, you aren't the ones who tell us what's the most important character. We tell you. And he's like, no, you guys don't have that. You don't know what you want. We know what, we have to give you something different, blah, blah, blah. My whole point of that was we tell them by our dollars. We tell them by our comments, by how we respond to certain characters. And the thing is, Captain Marvel has stopped and started and stopped and started something like 10 times since all
She-Hulk. New number 1 out this week. It's the same credit team. It's the same story.
Yeah, that's not I know they want to say it's a new series. They should just kept numbering and just put new team or
it's because they need the sales from a number 1 to continue the book.
Yeah, it's bullshit because and I gotta ask, does it actually still work? Does the whole hey we've got a new #1 thing work anymore?
I don't think so anymore. I mean, well, I think gradually it's just like YouTube. As people get interested, they leave your channel. New people find your channel.
Yeah.
Unless you're IO Comics.
Yeah, I know. Everybody leaves. My sad joke is that usually somebody will put something out, right? Like I'll do Comic Book Jeopardy. Now, any other channel, it'll slowly get an audience and rise. My stuff have always started really well, and then people lose interest and stop watching. But hey, what you gonna do? Just keep going. All righty, let's get on to #4. The #4 comic bought by readers this week is Batman and Robin. And who is Shush? Well, let me tell you who Shush is. Shush is a representative character. Let's see, a character representative of writers out of imagination. This is one of my big problems. I really want to do this as a singular rant instead of in the middle of an hour-long live stream. But this is the kind of thing that shows no imagination. This isn't a character created by someone within the world that they live in. This is somebody who reads comics. Somebody who reads comics created this character. And like I said, I'm going to explain that a little more. I'm going to do a rant video, probably and I'll have it out.
So Shush is a character just like every other character. Whenever Josh Williamson starts a new series, he creates a new character. He did it with Robin.
It's absolutely horrible. I like Joshua Williams as a writer, but this is a lack of imagination. This is the writing of somebody who reads comics.
Well, I'd say it's just in line with some of the most stupidest Marvel comics. They put so many out and then they fade away. This is another character that's going to fade away.
Let me put it to you. Let me put it another way. The reason that girl would take the name Shush is because she reads Batman comics and there's a character called Hush in it. There are so many examples of this. It's like when they fight out over, oh, well, it's the Uncanny X-Men versus X-Men. And these are the characters in the books where they're calling each other by the adjective of their book. No.
Or Shush is a fan or obsessed with the original Hush.
How would she know about it? The whole thing about Hush is that he wants to be Batman. He wants to be Bruce Wayne. Hush doesn't walk around going, I'm Hush. He says,
or no, like I said, you explain it out long enough. If you have a good enough writer, you have enough issues explaining it, you can have it where she's actually maybe an illegitimate child of Hush.
An ex associate of.
And what she blames Batman for what happened to her father.
Okay, let's see. Maranya is saying, I'm frankly tired of people blaming female comic readers for what happened in mainstream comics. I'm a female comic reader, and I don't want that crap. Yeah, but you came in before the movies, before all of that. And so, yeah, I wouldn't count you among the SJW types.
No.
X-Men is not a good book for the last 15 years. As cartoons and comics, they made me hate every X-Men. It's incredible. Yeah. I'm there with you, man. I have not been able to really grab onto the X-Men anymore. We at least say manga, it deserves to be beating every regular comic book. Marani says, Shush is what real editors need to tell 95% of those who are currently writing and drawing mainstream comics. Not a new character. That's a derivative of a classic character. Yep. So if they use her in a movie, Joshua Williams gets the money.
That's pretty much what it is now. They're creating characters for royalties.
That is it. But there you go. I don't know. I haven't read the book though. It might be an excellent book. I just think the character itself just shows a lack of creativity. All right, number 3 of the week, bought by readers. We're counting down not the books that the comic shops are ordering heavily. These are the books that are actually walking out the door, hopefully after being bought by customers. And this is the Superior Spider-Man Return. Okay. Wow, I've got this on my
I'm sorry.
I got this on my list to read. Oh, really? That would have been better. You got to go in comedy of threes. But
I'm just saying. Look at you got Ramos, and he also got Dan Slott in there. And I'm sure where's Steve Orlando? Why isn't he on this?
That's Riley.
No, that's Umberto Ramos.
Umberto. Oh,
who draws Spider-Man with giant clown feet?
Are you coming over here to poop on my shoulder? Don't come over here to poop on my shoulder. This is the side that's on camera.
We always get on Rob on what's his name's Rob Liefeld's go. Oh, he draws horrible feet, but no one says shit about Umberto Ramos, who draws Ronald McDonald.
Hey! What is wrong with you?
He's a bird. He's inside.
Hey, no, he's actually an inside bird. No. There you go. What are you so bitey for?
That bird belongs in a museum.
Almost. He's 12 years old now. He's getting on the aged side for being a bird.
Yeah, he'll be with you forever. He's stuffed on your shoulder.
Oh, I absolutely. By the way, he is forbidden to die on my watch. That's all I know.
He's like.
What that must be an attack scheme. No way, Gen Z and Alpha. What is wrong with them? The book is a crime against Spider-Man. I can't wait to read this one. I might have to do this one on its own. Just
10 years of what? Bad comics?
go panel to panel reading this. Let's see. I was on another tab and interpreted "quit shitting on my shoulder." Thought you were referring to Venkman. No, Venkman's learned not to shit on my shoulder a long time ago.
It's on the chest and I charge money for that.
But Twiddles was sitting on this shoulder and he walked over and then he does because if he's ready to go, he won't go where he's perching. He'll back up a little bit and then he'll do his business. So sometimes I'll get done with a show and my whole back is covered. It's really bad. But yeah, it's just
wear one of those ponchos from now on.
The worst thing is I'll change my clothes ready to go out and he'll come over and I'll go, okay, hi, okay, I gotta go back. I'll put him in his cage and I'll walk out the door and he'll have a spot on my shirt. All righty. Birds are shit machines, by the way.
But even that bird shit is better than this shit that's on screen.
Yeah, I would rather
I'm sorry, Dan Slott does not know how to write a book.
He's the Spider-Man author who's written more Spider-Man than ever. That makes him the best.
He's better than anyone else, even more than Stan Lee.
That makes him the best. All righty. Are you really ready to lose your shit? Because this person is saying, no, not this one, the next one. But number 2 is Wolverine, number 38. I haven't read it. Couldn't tell you what it's about. I've lost interest in Wolverine since the 90s. I just don't give a shit.
I just want to say that's our reaction to everything we see in Marvel.
What?
His react. You're just so pissed off. You're like, why are you fucking kidding me?
I'm getting horny. Yeah, it's look, I haven't read this. I might not. In the 90s, they did a book. It was Wolverine number 50. And they were like, everything you know about Wolverine is wrong. And I was like, seriously? I've been reading this guy for 20 years, a little piece here, a little piece there, whatever's going on. Yeah. Now, all of that is fucking wrong. Fuck you. I'm out. And I got to tell you, I lost interest. Definitely. And I went back, trying to check him out during Civil War. And he fought Nitro and he's blown to pieces and was regenerated in an instant by one drop of blood. And I'm like, you know what? There's no need to write Wolverine anymore. He cannot be killed. He cannot be hurt. There was a scene in an X-Men where Mystique slit his throat and the blood poured out before he had a chance to regenerate. That is good. You put limits on their powers and you got tension, you've got suspense, you've got a reason to want to follow the adventure. I have not been interested in Wolverine for a while, but I can't say for the rest of
I can excuse myself.
Why? What's going on?
We're going to the next one. I gotta leave.
Yeah, you just saw what number 1 was. All right, let me get some comments, and we'll hold on. Don't say anything.
Let's
get some comments, and then we'll get to that.
Grab your cocaine right now, kids.
Wait a minute. A large group of my generation buying comics at all. That isn't anime. I'm not buying that premise. And Samuel, that's what I said. It's a tax scheme. All righty. Limitations are more interesting than what the powers can do. And that's it. You know, I've got the I'm going to show off a little bit. I've got the omnibus for Marvel Universe right here. I read this. Spider-Man could only lift 10 tons. Now he can lift whatever the writer wants him to. You know, this is a book of awesomeness. And yes, by the way, I am reading it. Eric says, I think if I bought that, I would never read it because it's a lot of text. But it's interesting stuff, you know?
That's you.
Oh, because no, actually, I can. Yeah,
I can't see.
I take off the glasses. I can read up close a lot better.
Yeah, but after like 30 minutes of that, you're like,
oh, I only read a few pages at a time. Like I'll read one or two, and you're right about that. I'm reading it, but it's taken me forever. That's
and you're like, I can't see anything else.
Okay,
you guys are so focused.
Okay, so here I thought the same thing, RDV, because all I hear is how bad this is. All I hear is that.
Well, before you show it, okay. I want to ask people predictions. What do you think is number one? What do you think is going to the readers love the most?
Okay, yeah, the one that people are buying the most.
They must love it if they're buying it.
I don't think so. I think there's something about it.
I think Marvel is buying theaters.
Yeah, you guys put what you think is the number one in the chat. I'm gonna give it 8 seconds here, and then I'm gonna say the number one comic book being bought by readers. They're literally going to comic shops to buy this. This isn't a digital online kind of thing. They're making a physical effort to go and pick up this shit.
It is.
Then it is shit.
I'll give you a hint. It's the one thing that pisses me off the most. I talk about all the time.
I will give you a bigger hint. It's the Amazing Spider-Man.
Peter is infected with Norman Osborn's sins. It is the most ridiculous thing ever. They're going to reset Norman back to being the Green Goblin again.
Yeah. I don't know if you're roboting or I am.
You're kind of lagging on my end. But.
Okay. But yeah, there you go.
See, even your PC hates this shit.
Yeah, no, we can't show that. It's crap. We gotta robot you. We gotta slow you down. You hear Twiddles is doing the same. He's cheap and long. He understands.
Eric Breen, I agree. Most purchased, least read. That is one of those stupidest things. Like the fact that they say like, "Oh, fans love this." That's what Nick Lowe is. Oh, the editor. He's like, "Oh yeah, fans must love this. All you guys on Twitter are just haters."
Right. Yeah. The guy who writes this literally is saying he's going to continue ruining Spider-Man. And yeah. I don't think he's wrong, but I'm wondering, does Spider-Boy make an appearance? Because I know there's some stupid speculators thinking Spider-Boy is going to be a thing.
I don't know, man. But so Zeb Wells said earlier last month or 2 weeks ago, he was replying to Matthew Roseberg saying, "Oh, I want to write this." He's like, and Zeb Wells, hold on, I want to continue. I gotta keep ruining it first. You know, jokingly, and I'm thinking like, dude. I don't want either one of those fucktards on this book. I just want it done. Just kill Spider-Man. Kill Marvel Comics at this point. If you want to do this shit with Spider-Man, make it a damn Elseworld story. At this point, I'm done. I mean, I'm reading the Brian Hitch miniseries with Blade. Not Brian Hitch, but Brian Edward Hill. Yeah. That has been Blade. That's been Blade as Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes is Blade. That's that version. They've gone back to
been writing that?
Yeah, it's been fun. They just had a Doctor Strange cameo where Doctor Strange was written in character. And it's
yeah,
I know, right?
He is a good writer. I've never read anything that I didn't like. I might not have liked it as much as his other titles, but never anything I flat out just didn't like. Yeah. So you got that.
No.
But there you go, guys. I mean, how is it that everybody's complaining about this shit and yet still buying it?
Can I borrow that string you're using?
Oh, it was a wire.
I'll take it. I got a ceiling fan.
I don't. I've been testing things out to see if they fit